Oh, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? It's Friday, everybody, end of the week. Let me know what we're doing this weekend. Let me know if you're doing anything with your Friday. Let me know how you're all feeling. I know I'm feeling good. Made it to the end of the week, finally. How are you all doing, chat? How are we all doing? Got lots of United news to be talking about today. If you're joining the stream, not live, just skip 2 minutes in and we'll get straight into the action. Don't want to keep you waiting with this, but just letting a few people pop into the stream. How are we all doing, chat? How are we all doing? We're doing good. We've got Ugarte stuff to be talking about. We've got Zirkzee stuff to be talking about. Branthwaite news as per and a whole new revamping of the coaching staff. Everything is changing at Manchester United at the moment. Hey, Devil's Red. Good morning, Aaron. Daniel, I'm working nights this weekend. God, I'm sorry for you, mate. I'm sorry for you, pal. Hey, it has to be done, though. Has to be done. Good morning, Sonny Milan. How are we all doing, chat? I hope we're all doing well. Good morning, Daniel. We'll get into the action in just 1 second, guys. Just give it a minute. Let some more people filter through. Let me know, you doing anything fun this weekend? Going out anywhere? Some people might even be going on holiday. It's June. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, Devil's Red. How are you all doing? Just give me 1 more minute and we'll get straight into the stream. We actually have a lot to talk about. I've got some fun stuff we're going to do as well. So stay around for the whole stream because I've got some really good things we're going to be doing today. Good morning, Lachlan. Shall we get in to the stream, everybody? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MPB Morning Show. I'm your host, Alex, at Alex Talks All, and it seems that Manchester United's transfer targets have finally been realised. Ugarte, Zirkzee, and Branthwaite, the big three, and potentially the new spine of Manchester United. If you're excited to get involved in the stream today, then leave a like and hit that subscribe button. We hit 500,000 followers on X yesterday on the mufcMPB Twitter account. Now look, that was accomplished in June. How about we hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube in July? I'd love for you to all hit the subscribe button. And as per, get involved in the chat down below. It is a community. It is a family on the mufcMPB Morning Show. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Yesterday, we got sidetracked a little bit. We spoke a lot about Marcus Rashford, and we will speak about him a lot today. But the man I really wanted to talk about was Manuel Ugarte. Straight off the bat, chat. Let me know your thoughts and opinions of Ugarte before we get into any of the news, how likely he is, how good he is, your personal opinions. Would you take Ugarte at Manchester United? I also think I might be saying his name wrong, so hey-ho. But shall we break down all the news surrounding him? And a few days ago, I believe, Tanzaloic, I think that's how I say his name, breaks the news that Manchester United have made an opening offer to PSG for Manuel Ugarte. It has been rejected, but negotiations are still open. Now look, when I first saw this report, I was a little bit sceptical of it already. Tanzaloic, straight up, fantastic journalist. One of the best for French news, for French teams, French players, French outlets. He's brilliant. Really, really, really good. But if we just sort of look at the tweet a little bit more, we don't make an opening offer like that at all. That's not how Manchester United work. We always inquire first. To me, what this reads like is we spoke to Paris Saint-Germain about numerous players. Marcus Rashford is probably one of them. Xavi Simons is probably one of them. And Manuel Ugarte is certainly a name that was brought up in great detail. I reckon we probably threw a figure at them that we're thinking of spending at the very lowest and hoping to get a player for. I think Ben Jacobs clarified on the mufcMPB interview on the channel. Check that out if you haven't already. £25 million is sort of what we went to them with. So I think that's what it meant to be. And I mean, it has been rejected, but negotiations are still open. It carries on that trend that, look, it's not an opening offer. We've inquired, we're talking, and conversations are occurring. Then Ben Jacobs comes out with another report saying PSG have rejected an offer from Manchester United for Manuel Ugarte. It was dismissed quickly as it wasn't close to the club's evaluation. Like, look, it's just, it's reporters having fun. It's them taking what PSG is saying and just sort of running with it a little bit. United eventually sort of clarify the situation. They talk to Sky Sports. But chat, first of all, let's see what we're saying about Ugarte. Bocco the MC, if we sign Manuel, what about Casemiro, says Bocco the MC. Casemiro's hopefully gone. Casemiro's hopefully gone. Good morning, KD. Good morning, WY. Welcome, everybody. But let's talk about Casemiro as well. Well, I'm going to be going on about the reliability of reports. Casemiro at Manchester United, if we bring in an Ugarte, if we hopefully bring in an Amadou Onana, do you want Casemiro to stay at the club? There's several times, is it what, 4 or 5-time Champions League winner? Do you want that man to stay at the club? Although he's physically declining, do you want him here? I want to see everyone in the chat telling me that. There's over 60 of you in here right now. Let me know down below. Clayton says, Ugarte is a good player. Covers more ground and good on the ball, though less progressive with the ball. Onana is more physical than Ugarte. He is like a young Casemiro. Are you referring to Onana being like Casemiro, Clayton? Let me know. Let me know. Bocco says, I can go for Onana to do a donkey work in the midfield. Onana's not a donkey. Chat, we'll speak about Onana in great detail. You don't want to miss a beat on the stream, by the way, guys. There's so much to get into. But when it comes to Onana, he's not a donkey. Everyone sort of assumes. I was speaking to H from the Overlap about this very recently. He says, everyone thinks Onana has like that bozo gene. Like that just sort of, he's got a mistake in him. He doesn't. Amadou Onana is a really quite calm player on the ball. But look, let's get into Ugarte a little bit more. Sky Sports came out saying Manchester United make initial approach to PSG over midfielder Manuel Ugarte. As yet, no formal bid. Discussions are continuing internally over next steps. I think we all saw this coming. It wasn't a proper bid. We sort of put out an inquiry. We're like, look, how much is it going to cost? And we've sort of gone along with that. Remember, throughout all of this, Fab has been saying we've been talking to other players, to PSG about other players like a Marcus Rashford potentially. Talking about Javi Simmons. Both players we'll be discussing very, very soon. Chat, so please stick around for that. What's the Ugarte news? I think my general opinion on Ugarte is it's probably going to happen. And I'll get into that in a second. Now here is the ideal solution. Here's what I want with Manuel Ugarte. PSG are open to loaning out Manuel Ugarte with an option to buy. Ugarte is open to leaving the French side. That's by Graham Bailey. I would love some more corroboration on that. I'm not dismissing Graham Bailey at all, but I always feel he's a journalist who works best in tandem with others when it comes to reporting news. So let me know, chat. Ugarte, that's my ideal scenario. You loan him in. The defensive midfield market isn't that good this year. An obligation to buy for, let's say, what, 30, 40 million pounds, I think is fair. And say he doesn't impress, we don't loan him in. If he does, we bring him in for that amount, and we've got ourselves a ready-made 6. But I just don't think the 6 market is good enough at the moment to sort of... With Amadou Onana sitting there and could be available next year, it is silly. It is such a silly idea to splash £50 million on him right now. Bocco says, can we sell Rashford to Saudi Pro League? We'll be talking about that soon, chat. Marcus Rashford to Saudi Arabia. We will be constructing the MPB Manchester United squad for next year. That is what we will be constructing. And we'll be talking in that very in depth about Marcus Rashford's potential leaving to Saudi Arabia. Clayton says, Ugarte is like a young Casemiro. He will do the dog dirty work for you. So we've sort of covered the initial reaction to Ugarte to Manchester United. Again, Ben Jacobs said that United believe he's worth £25 million. PSG wants around £50 million. That's just one of the tidbits on his interview on the channel with us by Neil Condola. Please check that out. But that was sort of the initial sort of news around Ugarte. Let's break down who Ugarte is. Let's break him down for a second. He's a destroyer. He's not an Amadou Onana who's sort of got that all-around ability, who can progress the ball, who's technically sound. Look, Ugarte isn't clumsy. He's not as... I think he's technically better than Edson Alvarez. I think technically he is better. But he had a worse season. He had a worse season than Alvarez, but I do feel on the ball he's more accomplished, more relaxed. Sporting, he was excellent. But he's not someone to sort of grab the game by the scruff of the neck and progress the ball constantly. That's my fear with Manuel Ugarte. We're potentially bringing in a Jarrad Branthwaite. We've got I don't know. We also bring in Lenny Yoro. We've got Diogo Dalot. No one there really can sort of take the game by the scruff of the neck and just sort of progress the ball on their own. At the moment, the only true progressor of the ball we have is Lisandro Martinez. And that was a huge issue for us. The second he got injured, our first phase of play sucked. We sucked. Point blank. It only was really saved by bringing Amber back in as the 6 sitting between the 2 centre-backs. And he's leaving, apparently. I mean, let me find the report. And this really upset me. Manchester United are not planning to sign Sofian Amrabat on a permanent transfer. He is expected to return to Fiorentina. That's by the Muppeteers. So they're not exactly confirming him. They're not exactly confirming 100% that Amrabat's gone back to Fiorentina. But it seems likely, very likely in fact. And it frustrates me. You don't play like that in an FA Cup final and just get cast aside. He was brilliant, but hey-ho. Sign Amrabat, loan Ugarte. That's what I want to do. KD, I would loan both in for another year. Honestly. Loaning Amrabat for one more year. Loaning Ugarte for one more year. It makes more sense to me. We should just promote Jay Fitzgerald from the academy. He's better than Ugarte. No, he's not. No, he's not. He might be one day. I'm not familiar with him. But to say a lad who I've never heard of, and I'm quite tapped into Carrington. Not as much as maybe some of you are, not as maybe Academy Scoop is. But I'm relatively tapped into it. And he's not better than Ugarte. He's just not. Pardon me. Katie says both way better. What they cost may be the issue. That said, I wouldn't sniff at signing Ugarte. It would be a major defensive improvement. And I would face less shots at the very least. I agree with you. But then again, you can't expect... Ugarte doesn't work in that midfield setup as it was last year. He's not a huge sort of ground coverage player. He's not going to reach the furthest ends of the pitch. He's not that... I mean, you know what? Jay Rhodes said from the Muppeteers said something really good. He's like a bit more of a technical Fred. We don't need that sort of player. We don't need that. And everyone's making up these really weird midfield configurations where, like, just because Ugarte isn't... Like, how tall is Ugarte, chat? He's not huge, is he? Is he even 6 foot? And I know I've been asking and begging for stronger physical players on the channel for a while now. And he doesn't fit that bill either. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, the Ugarte deal. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Pandy says no statement signing, just budget signing targets. I mean, Jarrad Branthwaite, if we get him over the line, is a statement signing personally. I think that is. But let's look at the Ugarte deal, and especially returns to Amadou Onana a little bit closer. Seb Nonda comes out with a report saying Manchester United are leaning towards Manuel Ugarte over Amadou Onana. This made me really sad. This chat, I want to see all of you right now getting involved. One word, Ugarte or Onana. Who would you rather have as your new number 6 at Manchester United Football Club? Regardless of price, say we could both get them, and both costing around 35 to 55 million pounds. Who would you choose? Onana or Ugarte? I want to see the chat just spamming it now. I want to see. Because to me, Amadou Onana is night and day. It's night and day to Ugarte. Onana is this physical unicorn. I know some people hate that word. I love it. You won't find a player like him on the market physically. Combine that with how sort of excellent he is at using it. His long limbs, superb interceptions. He reaches out and just grabs the ball out of thin air. Technically, he's really quite sound. He gets comparisons to Paul Pogba due to his unique physical profile. He's not Paul Pogba on the ball. No one is. I mean that. But he's still fantastic. But then you look at Ugarte and sure, fine, he's an okay number 6. And that's sort of my issue with him. He's okay. At least Joshua Zirkzee is elite in some areas. His ability to facilitate the ball. Branthwaite is going to be elite. Most players we're linked to have that elite element. Even Jeremy Frimpong, elite going forward. You look at, I don't know, who else have we been linked to? Wesley Fofana is an elite. He's really good at controlling the play. When we're linked to, I don't know, Elise. He's an elite footballer. It's just so frustrating to me. It's just so frustrating that we're linked to this just okay number 6. In which we need a top tier player there so desperately. I don't know. It just frustrates me. I mean, Toulon says Onana is rubbish, mate. Why? Toulon, tell me why. Toulon, tell me why. Pandy says dream is João Neves, but Ugarte over Onana. Chat, I'm shocked. Wow. Good God. KD, Onana is way better than Ugarte. It's not even close. I agree. Josh Clark, Onana for me. Olakatan says Ugarte. KD says Onana. Brilliant. I think I'm back. Sorry, chat. You lost me for a second. It was a really attractive place for me to lag, I think. That's a shame. That's a shame. Sorry for the lag. But Onana... No, sorry. Amrabat is capable of playing in a high press system. He is physically capable. He struggled when coming into the league. But remember when Pep would always bring in a player like João Cancelo, and he would take a year to settle in because he just couldn't get Pep's system. It's not just Pep's system. It's not just Pep's system. It's it's the Premier League itself. It's such a challenging league. So hey ho, I don't get this whole Amrabat can't play in the Premier League when he just bossed Manchester City around in 90 minutes in the FA Cup final. I mean, doesn't make sense to me. Keep Amrabat and sell McTominay, says Pandy. Keep both. Keep both. Clayton says, why is no one interested in Onana then? Arsenal were. They don't have the funds because they're certain trying to figure out the striker situation. W.I. Ugarte is so much better than Onana. Do you know how to do a poll in these chats? There we go. I'm going to put... I'm going to see what everyone says. I'm going to make a poll in the chat. First time ever doing this. While I'm doing this, guys, if you appreciate the tech support I'm showing for you lot, let's see, does that work? Hopefully that came up for you. If you appreciate my tech support, let me know. Leave me a like on the video, hit that subscribe button. But yeah, let's focus a little bit more on the Ugarte news and just see how reasonable it's going to be. We've compared the two for a little bit. I do think Ugarte, as it seems to be here, is the chosen one out of the two of them. Diego Munoz from ESPN Uruguay says, Manuel Ugarte will leave Paris Saint-Germain this summer. Manchester United are showing the most interest and are willing to meet PSG's demands. Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund and Atletico Madrid are also in the mix for the player. Now, typically, when I see like a report like this, I'll scream agent talk. I'll scream agent talk. I'll say, oh, it's the agents waffling. Oh, they've gone to like ESPN. They're just trying to drive up a bidding war. I don't think so. Not in this case. I'm going to be quite sceptical here and say I think we are the most interested player. I think other clubs have been thrown into this to make United hurry up. I think Atletico Madrid's being used. I think Borussia Dortmund's being used. I think Bayern Munich is being used, not United the other way around. I think we're probably quite a dead set to be the number one front runner for Manuel Ugarte this summer. And chat, it seems to me you lot are quite happy. 81% of you want, 83% of you want Manuel Ugarte at Manchester United. That is a huge number. That is a huge number. Origami Amrabat was actually coached at Hake by Utrecht. We'll be talking about the coaching situation so soon, chat, and how it's going to change the very face of Manchester United. The entire structure of the club is being shifted. If you want to look forward to that, leave a like on the video. Stay tuned. I trust we're going to that very soon. GT and Joseph, we didn't play a high press against City, did we? Every time we played Amrabat in a high press system throughout the season, he got ragdolled because the system was bad. The system was awful. Jithian, the system was Erik ten Hag set up an appalling midfield configuration that when we pressed high, the defence was so far back, and I don't care, he told them to, cool. He didn't tell them to enough. He didn't do anything with, it frustrates me. Clayton, if Omar Bavada says yes, who says no? That's my thing. If they're going after Ugarte for footballing reasons, bet. Go after him. Go after him. If it's to be penny pinchers, if it's to be boring and annoying, and to get him because he's maybe £30 million, £20 million cheaper, I'm furious. Because this position can define United for years to come. It's always defined Manchester United. Michael Carrick, Paul Scholes, all these players who sat at the base, Roy Keane, like all these lads who sat as the number 6 at United, has defined us as a football club. When McFred existed and they were the double pivot, they were the 2 6s, it defined us as a club. When Matic was the 6, that defined us as the club. Like, we need to be really quite careful which position we prioritise. I would rather get Onana and not get Ugarte and miss out on Zirkzee. That's how important I believe the position to be. That's how important I believe the position to be. Josh Clark, they're two completely different players. They're different profiles. I mean, KD, the pie chart comparison between Onana and Ugarte is shockingly telling. I think people haven't actually looked at Ugarte's attributes. I agree with you. People judge him far too easily. Just because he seems to have a bozo gene and he doesn't have the most amazing biomechanics when it comes to playing football. Doesn't mean he's he's useless. Look, it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka syndrome is what it is. Rego says, and also it's worth noting that Onana wasn't even a regular starter for Everton towards the end of the season. Everton fans have moaned about that. So, hey-ho. Toulon, what about seeing a 7-foot log in your midfield excites you? Toulon, me and you are going to get into words in a second here, my friend. But it's all in good nature. Let me tell you. Amadou Onana, the perfect player to play alongside Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo is what? 5'11", 6'5", 5'10". A relatively decent ground runner, can cover ground, decent in duels, but excellent going forward. He needs someone who's a physical presence alongside him, especially when he's got Bruno next to him. Barney's a hard worker, Bruno. I get that. Covers a lot of ground, leads the press really well, a great leader out of possession. He doesn't have that frame. He gets shrugged off the ball too easily. And going in for duels, he can be a tad too aggressive and leave gaps in behind. You need someone who can cover that ground. Amadou Onana is what? 6 foot, what? 2, 3, 4? Something around that. He's a monster. But he's not just a log. He is really quite mobile. He can cover great distances. Not even just running. He runs at the ground like he hates it. But he's long-limbed. He's not afraid to get into tackles. He's not afraid to go to ground, which I know isn't the best thing in all the world to stay on your feet sometimes. I get it. But that alone out of possession is brilliant. His ability as a box defender. We need to raise the physical flooring of the squad just height-wise. I see people saying, oh, as long as you have Ugarte alongside two strong centre-backs, physically dominant ones, you're fine. You're not. You're not. Look at that English side. At the moment, I'm repping England. If anyone can guess who's on the back, I'll give you a cookie. But when you're looking at that English side, they're massively missing Harry Maguire. You need those monsters, those physical specimens who take you to a next level when it comes to physicality. You need an Amadou Onana. Yeah, England need a Harry Maguire. They need a monster. Onana is 6'3/4. Exactly. You need those sort of players at Manchester United. You need them. So it's just, ugh. And on the ball as well. On the ball, technically proficient. Great with the ball at his feet. Sure, he's not a Pogba, but he can progress the ball. He can progress the ball. He's doing really well for Belgium. I just don't get... Onana plays football like a donkey, says Sonny Milan. Well, that's just... You're just judging him. Honestly, I don't get what you're saying. I don't get it. I don't get it. Ugarte is like Kovacic. Clayton. Pep doesn't need a 6'4" midfielder. Yeah. But he's got, as a backline, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, Manuel Ugarte and Nathan Ake. He's got all the height there. He's got a Rodri. He's got a Haaland. That's where his monsters are. Ugarte is also nowhere near like Kovacic. Kovacic is one of my favourite ball progressors, technically sound players in the world. He's amazing. Oh, Clayton, come on. But that's my opinion on Amadou Onana. That's my opinion. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream so far, we're 3 likes away from 30 likes. If you're in the stream and you're enjoying it, please leave us a like. I'd really, really, really appreciate it. Milan is not the perfect player to play with. He fits it perfectly. Lachlan Charles, oh, no worries, mate. Good luck in your soccer game, mate. Good luck in your soccer game. Football, though. Football, brother. Ooh, chat. Fun question. Before we segue on to the next topic, that is Joshua Zirkzee and Jarrad Branthwaite, the 2 potentially new signings of the Manchester United era. Let me know. What do you call it? Football or soccer? Let me know, chat. Let me know. But shall we very quickly talk about the Joshua Zirkzee update and how he is advancing ever and ever closer to Manchester United. But I see that say the word advancing. It's in the title. I'd rather use the word plodding, to be honest with you. It is boring me, the Joshua Zirkzee deal. Sky Sports Chef and Sky Sports Leal, 2 quite prominent names in this whole saga, have said Joshua Zirkzee's representatives have been talking to United. There is now cautious optimism that a deal can be done for Zirkzee, with the club prepared to pay the Dutchman's £33.8 million release clause. United are also continuing talks with PSG over the signing of midfielder Manuel Ugarte. United have a price in mind for him. Again, we're getting ever and ever closer to Joshua Zirkzee. We're plodding. We're slowly just sort of dragging our feet to get there. But I do think we're getting closer. There's a few other reports as well that gives me some optimism around the deal. Let me find them very quickly for you, chat. Let me find them. And don't go anywhere. We're talking about Marcus Rashford straight after these two. You do not want to miss that. We're building our team, building our coaching staff, and Marcus Rashford is the main man who's going to be in discussion. Joshua Zirkzee. Here we go. Bologna have informed Joshua Zirkzee that he must make a decision on his next club before the end of this week. That's core sport. So look, getting a little bit closer to it. Slowly. End of this week and might then become next week. But look, let's have some hope that Joshua Zirkzee deal will be finalised soon. And then Corriere Bologna, I'm assuming an Italian outlet, shock horror, says that yesterday new positive contacts took place between Manchester United and Joshua Zirkzee's agent, Kia Jorichan, with them ever closer to an agreement on commissions. That phrase again, ever closer. Chat, I'm so bored of it. I'm so bored of it. Zirkzee to Milan seems to have cooled and he is moving towards United. I'm 95% convinced this deal is going to happen. I'm 95% convinced. 95% convinced about that is going to happen. I think it's going to happen slowly because they're going to penny pinch us for every pound we have. But look, I think it will happen. It's going to be a difficult deal because the agents we're dealing with, although they like us, it's still a power agent. It's still a big boy agent. So those deals always take time. And I think we are waiting to the 1st of July to where the deal is going to be sort of sped up because that's when the release clause comes into effect. But chat, Joshua Zirkzee, how are we feeling? Toulon says, how's the poll going? I'm going to stop the poll to bring an end to this Ugarte discussion. Chat, it finished 87%. Good God, chat. You lot are awful. I mean, I disagree. It's your own opinion, but oh my God. Wow, that really shocks me. Josh Clark, Arsenal have Rice, Gabriel and Saliba and have progressed a lot since they came in, all of which are massive physical monsters, not a coincidence. Exactly, Josh. Exactly. That's how you separate yourself. With all the top teams playing wonderful football, you separate yourself with the physicality you need. Carl Duncan says, welcome to the stream. I haven't seen you before, my friend. Alex deals in principle can happen. Everyone we link to quite slow movements. We need to wait for like a release clause to be active. That's the sort of thing we're waiting for. Just fallen in love with Onana. I'm heartbroken that he's not coming. Austin Baker, knowing our luck, Onana leaves for cheap to others but hella expensive for us. I don't think so. I think that if there's a deal to be made for a decent price, we make the deal. Toulon says, I don't see that technicality in Onana that you speak of. It's fair enough. Pardon me, sorry chat. I'd rather have Neves, but since that deal is going to be difficult, I'm taking Ugarte. He's an agile defensive monster. He's not a monster. He's aggressive. He's like Fred. Who works really hard to cover ground, but he just can't quite cover enough. Is sort of my issue with him. Ineos said best in class. Are these players best in class? Maups, what a statement to make. God, I want to tweet that out. Because that's an incredible statement to make. Wow, no, that's so true. No, that sounds so true. Yeah, I do get that. 53 votes, we need 53 likes. Exactly. So, that is the sort of mentality I like. Shall we in for 50 likes today, stream? Shall we in for 50 likes? Wonder who is getting the cookie, says Austin Baker. Mate, do you want it? Do you think Joe says, see if Bayern to 10, Hag want De Ligt, Bayern want £60 million. Be nice, are only willing to pay £30 million. We're being cheap because we have to be. It's why a Marcus Rashford deal seems quite enticing because the PSR would be amazing. But I don't think I can treat Marcus Rashford like a financial transaction. I don't think I can do that to myself. Honestly, break my heart. Ugarte is so underrated, way better than Onana and suits us much better, says WI. I disagree. Ed Babbitt, you should be happy that your viewership isn't just a bunch of sheep. I'm very happy with it, mate. Ed, mate, I love the fact that I get to argue with you lot. It's the highlight of my day. I love the fact that, I have these wild opinions and you have your wild opinions. It's conversation. It's football, boy. Shannon Phoebe says, Manchester United, we are good on seeing the players, but we are failing to buy the players. And this is what is going on right now. I mean, hey-ho. We buy all these tacticos, act like Onana is generational. He's not that at all. God, I disagree though. Maybe I'm a sheep for following the tacticos, but I watched Onana. I've came to really good opinions on him. I speak to people who watch a lot more of him. They love him. So I'm like, look, I probably need to watch a little bit more of Onana just to really make sure if I'm making these grand sweeping statements on him, I'll watch him really, really, really intensely at Euros. But hey ho, I'll watch Ugarte as well. But I'm not certain of him, unfortunately. Best in class doesn't mean you'll get Haaland from City, Vinicius from Real Madrid. We have to be realistic. Then don't go for a second option. It's Onana or nothing. If we want Amadou Onana, get Amadou Onana. It's like, oh, it's so frustrating. WYCF Bayern says we want De Ligt. Is that recent? Have we got some breaking news? Is my leg being pulled again, chat? Is my leg being pulled again? Let me see. Breaking news on the centre-back situation, everybody. And going to segue quite nicely into Jarrad Branthwaite, who I'm saying he's one of the big three. He's one of the big three targets. I'm becoming quite sceptical that he's going to be coming to Manchester United now. I'll reveal more in just 1 second. CF Bayern, by a court offside, has recently put out saying Erik ten Hag wants to bring Matthijs de Ligt to Manchester United. Bayern Munich want up to £60 million, but United only want to pay £30 million. Well, chat. Well. Matthijs de Ligt, original reactions. Do you want him? I want to see yeses and nos. There's over 75 of you in the chat right now. De Ligt has been a name we've spoken about on the channel en masse. A player who I'm not overly fond of, but I can see his place at Manchester United, so hey ho. Can you discuss with everybody? I'm discussing to everyone who will listen to me. Anyone who will answer my questions. I ask about Onana. But let's talk about Jarrad Branthwaite for a second. I believe, let me find the report. Let me find the report very quickly for your chat. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano said yesterday, Atalanta have verbally agreed on a deal to sign Ben Godfrey from Everton on a fee in excess of €10 million plus add-ons. Godfrey's presence was always with Serie A, with contract terms being finalised and then medical booked this weekend. Here we go. That's a nail in the coffin for Jarrad Branthwaite. Maybe. I think it's close. I think if they get one more deal over the line, I think we're in a lot of trouble. And the fact that we're getting so close is the 28th, everybody. Like, we have only, 2 days till they need to sell. That's terrifying. I don't like it. It's so close, and I think I've gotten so hyped up about Jarrad Branthwaite. I've become so sure he is the answer to a lot of our prayers. And that Everton just sort of gone violent without having to sell a Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Without having to sell a Amadou Onana. Oh, it's just frustrating. So look, it's why I'm going to focus on Matthijs de Ligt a little bit now. Just because I think he's probably becoming a more likely option. I mean, looking at the coaching staff are becoming very Erik ten Hag tailor-made. René Hake is being brought in. Ruud van Nistelrooy, 2 Dutchmen, are being brought into Manchester United, potentially being sort of gone through the Erik ten Hag process first. This report, we always talk about perception on this channel. Where is it coming from? What perspective is the report coming from? This is coming from Erik ten Hag himself. So hey ho. Let's see what we're saying about Matthijs de Ligt. Top player, but career been down since Ajax. But then again, Kyle, then again, like, he's worked with Ten Hag before. Could he get back to his best? Yes, but his wages are too high, says WY. I agree with you. KD says no. I don't know whether I'd say no to him at the moment. Austin Baker 2 years ago, yes, not now. Maybe loan to do a look. Ooh, a loan with an obligation, chat. Or a loan with an option. Would you take that for him? Toulon, I'm not too fussed about missing out on Branthwaite, but I hope we stay clear on De Ligt. I mean, yeah, I agree with you, to be fair, Toulon. I would rather look elsewhere than Matthijs de Ligt. I think he's a really good box defender, but I just don't really think he would work in a back three. It's sort of my thing, when he can sort of defer to other players building out from the back. And you know what? I'm becoming a bit of a back three merchant at all the squads I'm thinking about. Clayton, I mean, here's going to be the lists. Anselmino, De Ligt, Calafiori, Branthwaite, Yoro, Todibo, who are your top 2? I mean, I'm going to discard Lenny Yoro, partly because I'm still heartbroken by him, and every time I see him, I nearly burst into tears. If you've been around in the chat for a while, Clayton, you all know my love for Lenny Yoro and how much I adore him as a player. But let's look at the others. if I was to choose about who I'd want to come to United rather than who I think will come, I would probably go with a Calafiori and Anselmino. Just because Branthwaite, I think, is becoming very difficult. I think De Ligt I don't want. I think Todibo is damn near impossible. So look, that's what I'd go with. Sheldon Toulon wants Inácio. Mate, you missed all the streams where I took a massive dump on Inácio. God, me and Inácio had problems, unfortunately. Me and Inácio had problems. Would love De Ligt, but we still need a backup left centre-back. Johnny Evans is staying for his sins. Thought the man was retiring at the end of the season, but no. And guys, we're 2 likes away from 40 likes. It would mean the absolute world to me if you could smash that like button. We've got so much more to talk about today. We're breaking down the entire new management setup of Manchester United and what it means. Is Erik ten Hag being backed all the way? And we're also going to be talking about very soon Marcus Rashford and his potential move to Saudi Arabia. We're talking about that very soon. From Alejandro Garnacho to Marcus Rashford. Joe says, not De Ligt. If he could not succeed at Bayern, what's the guarantee he could succeed at Manchester United Football Club? And besides the intensity of the Premier League, never an option. That's fair. Clayton, why is Chelsea signing everyone? Who have Chelsea signed now, chat? Who have Chelsea signed now? Let me know. Also, I'm sorry, the chat's not working on the screen. It's quite frustrating. Honestly, it reminds me of Manchester United. It's so temperamental. It's not got a clue what's going on. Yak says, I don't trust Ten Hag. Chat, do you trust Ten Hag's talent ID? It's a conversation we have a lot at the moment. Are you happy with his talent ID? I mean, let's think about it. Casemiro, he wanted to sign Declan Rice. He wanted to sign a Frenkie de Jong. Looking at Anthony, he told them to sign him, but he didn't tell them the price. But I still blame him for the deal. So, look, for Ten Hag, I'm backing his talent ID, but I'm not going to blindly follow it. John Lucchini, Atalanta is very good, mate. Play next to Calafiori. Calafiori is being linked to Premier League clubs. We haven't been mentioned explicitly, though I wouldn't be shocked if we're sort of sniffing around, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if we're just having a little sniff. Naturally, as we do with pretty much every player. But yeah, shall we? Any last thoughts on the centre-back situation before we start talking about Marcus Rashford, everyone? Anything on Sancho and Greenwood leaving? I mean, yes. Very quickly, both looking closer. Greenwood will be leaving hopefully very, very soon. Mason Greenwood to Marseille seems the most likely option, chat. And who's the other one? Jadon Sancho to Juventus is probably the most likely destination. But look, nothing too concrete. If Rashford is interested in a move, it's a no-brainer. I'd take £70 million. Marcus Rashford to Saudi Arabia, chat. A huge conversation yesterday. A huge conversation during the stream. Yesterday, when the news broke, I was messaging everyone and their aunt to try and sort of find something on this. I was told that it's not likely. It's not that likely it's going to happen. And that wasn't like concrete info. That was more of an opinion by the sounds of it. And the United District report I'm going to read out has that hesitation as well. Let me read it out to you. Saudi Pro League club Al Ittihad are expected to make an approach for Marcus Rashford soon. Rashford is one of their main targets. United District are very reliable. They're very reliable. I've never spoken to them, but I've been aware of them for a while. I'd love to speak to them. I'd love to work with them. They're a very, very, very good outlet. They're in a long-standing sort of place in Manchester United Twitter or X, whatever one you call it. But look, I think I'm taking that as gospel. The report also says Rashford and United want to continue together in the future. Under Erik ten Hag, under Ineos, under the regime, it seems Marcus Rashford has been convinced. Now, chat, what would you take for the Saudi Pro League? What fee would you take from Al Ittihad? What would you take? Because to me, it's 100 million, 120 million pounds or nothing. Toulon saying I would take 70 million pounds. Why? For a top, and I know Toulon, you're going to be very grumpy when I say this. He is a top 5 player in the world. A top 5 player. Let me know, chat. Do you agree with me? How much would he cost you? How much would he cost you? There's 90 people in the stream right now. I want to hear everyone's price for Marcus Rashford. Let me know. It can be a stream with them. I don't want to hear any justification. What is your number? De Ligt could be a smokescreen to pressure Everton. Thoughts, says Carl Duncan. I hadn't thought about that. You know, I hadn't thought about that at all. Not sure Calafiori will leave the Serie A, but a decent defender there alongside Licha is a massive upgrade on our defensive line. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, Calafiori's impressed me a lot. He's impressed me a lot. Rashford is 26, £85 million is fair, says Clayton. He's also one of the best players in world football. So there's that. If it's PSG, 80 to 100, Saudi, 150 million. That's fair. Jithy and Joseph, 90 million euros. You're having a laugh, mate. I'm sorry. Guys, if you've just joined the stream, thank you for joining. If you're enjoying it so far, please leave a like on the video. I'd really, really appreciate it. £130 million plus add-ons. We need Joshua Zirkzee now. If Joshua Zirkzee comes to United, Marcus Rashford staying is imperative. It's imperative. He becomes one of the best players in world football. The player like Zirkzee, sending him those balls behind him. Honestly, he is integral to the squad. Marcus Rashford, Joshua Zirkzee, that is how we need to work. Although, could you play Højlund with it? Does Joshua Zirkzee and Højlund work? Oh, I don't know. I don't think Rashford, Zirkzee and Højlund works. I think two of them could work together. Toulon says, I doubt Rashford would want to leave Europe for Saudi at 26 years old. When he's on it, he is top 5 but lacks consistency. That's fair enough. I will not argue with you there, my friend. Dan Mazungu says, Philippe Coutinho went to Liverpool for £130 million. Ousmane Dembele went for £130 million. Jack Grealish, £100 million. Does it shock you that Jack Grealish is a £100 million player? Like, look, when he came to City, that was a fair enough deal. He is worth that much money. That is how much Jack Grealish is worth. But come on. Like, how much would you buy Jack Grealish for now? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But look, I'm convinced Marcus Rashford is going to stay at United. I'm not going to give too much thought to it because I'm quite certain he's going to stay. I mean, I've just put out a few messages now seeing if anyone's got anything. But hey ho, I put out some questions. I'm not too sure, but I put out some questions. I mean, another Manuel Ugarte report, everyone talking about passion and desire for Marcus Rashford. Uruguay Fichas, I believe that's how I say it. Manuel Ugarte would love to play for Manchester United Football Club and his representatives feel it is an ideal destination for him. I mean, yeah, sure. Oh, it's going to happen, isn't it? Ugarte's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you all I told you so when he sucks. And Onana as well. But then again, my favourite thing in football is being proved wrong. So Manuel Ugarte, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I can't wait for an angry, fired up Rashford next season who want to give Southgate the finger. You know what, KD? I don't want that. I want Rashford to be happy. I want to have a chip on his shoulder. But I want to be happy. I want him to be healthy. I want him to feel relaxed. Him missing the Euros is honestly not one of the best things that could have happened. But it's quite big for him. I think that he's got a huge run of steam under his belt now. He could do really well now. I think he will feel refreshed. He'll feel energetic. But I don't know. Origami says Rashford, Anthony will stay. They will have the ultimatum to prove themselves this season. I mean, they're going to be proving themselves under an entirely different back room. Chat, if you're excited, we're going to be talking about the new backroom endeavours which is occurring at the moment. The changes, Ruud Nistelrooy, Rene Hake coming in. So it says £250 million sterling or no deal. What? Sterling costs... How much you say you'd pay for Sterling? £250 million. What? So I need answers. I need answers. Arkitan says Buonate is just like Bruno. What a brilliant player. He's the Brighton lad, isn't he? He's the Brighton lad. Sharon Toulon says he didn't buy Jack Grealish, a footballer, for £100 million. They bought Jack Grealish, the homegrown player, for £100 million. Look, as someone who grew up around Brum at times of his life, I grew quite fond of... but I grew up in the same... story time. I grew up in the same sort of town as Jack Grealish. We grew up in the same area. So I always have a soft spot for Grealish. So I'm going to sort of back him a little bit there. No. Jack Grealish was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful player at Villa. He still is at City, but a different one. Shall we now talk about the revolution that is ongoing at Manchester United in the backroom staff? I've put it off long enough, but let's get into it. Breaking Fabrizio Romano, a man constantly laughed at by the United fan base. He's proving himself once again as one of the best journalists around. He breaks the news that Manchester United plan to add go-ahead Eagles manager Rene Hake to their new coaching staff for next season. Hake and Ruud van Nistelrooy are expected to be new additions to Erik ten Hag's staff. This is eventually sort of finalised. Fabrizio Romano confirms it 100%. Those two to Manchester United. Here we go. Look, how happy we are feeling about that, chat. How happy are we? Because to me, I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon. Ruud van Nistelrooy, yeah. I have a lot of love for him. I admire him as a manager, the way he's moved up through the ranks. I admire him in his coaching style. I really think he is he's really quite superb, very progressive, very forward-thinking. Rene Hake is almost the opposite. So Go Ahead Eagles, for those who don't know, is a club who was Ten Hag at it at one point? No. Yes, he was. I'm 90% sure he was. But Go Ahead Eagles, almost a yo-yo club. You know how like Watford was a few years ago? How Norwich sort of is. Premier League, Championship, Premier League, Championship. They're like that in the Eredivisie. They're in the Eredivisie, then the second tier. Eredivisie, second tier. Eredivisie, second tier. However, Rene Hake has done the remarkable thing and managed to ensure that they stayed as an Eredivisie club. It's like when Chris Wilder took Sheffield United and made them a proper club, or how Brighton was cemented as a Premier League club over recent years, or maybe Brentford is probably a really recent example of it, becoming a Premier League club. So that makes me happy. He also only conceded 46 goals last season, which is really quite impressive for a side that, again, is a yo-yo club. They're going to take beatings. I don't care about the Eredivisie being like, oh, it's a poor league. But it's all relative. It's all relative. He sets his side up very compactly. It's in a really close shape. And I know there's similarities between Ten Hag and Hake. You know what? Based off Ten Hag last year, compact is the antithesis of how Ten Hag sets up his systems. So I'm quite happy we've got sort of a defensively minded coach into the side. So look, I'm happy. Oh, Jithy and Joseph. Rene Hake, another SEG client with no experience outside of the Netherlands. Pep Guardiola is an SEG client. Manchester City have 2 SEG players. They're one of the biggest agencies. They're more of a franchise in the world. They have so many people, like over 450 players. Blackburn have like 3 representatives off the top of my head. Villa have 2. SEG is not Manchester United. They're not. Sure, we were linked. They're the biggest agency in the Netherlands. Shock horror, Erik ten Hag, a Dutch manager, likes Dutch players. So, I don't know. I disagree. I'm not here to be a conspiracy theorist, though. What does that mean for McLaren and Van der Gaar? I think one of them stays. I think one of them leaves, if I'm being completely honest with you. And guys, we're 6 likes away from 50 likes. If you haven't liked the stream already and you're enjoying it so far, please leave a like on the video. Very, very soon, after we get done with this sort of backroom staff talk, we're going to be talking about the Manchester United Football Club as a whole and who your team would be for the next season. We're going to do a load of polls because I've discovered how to do them now. I'm going to do that very, very quickly. Are we going for Pep as assistant? I didn't know that. Wow, we're not. And that's the thing. Just because they're an SEG client doesn't mean we're going to go after them. KD, I wonder if Arnie Slot has experience outside the Netherlands. Exactly. Look, everyone gets on to Mark, the United stand, Beth, etc. about being SEG and being paid off. And then he sent basically the entire United Twitter into meltdown last night with that Onana Fellaini tweet. He was in the pub. He was drinking. I was in the pub drinking last night. I probably made a few funny tweets as well. It's like, what do you want him to do? Give the man a break. Pulisic was standing out player for Uruguay. I haven't actually watched the highlights of that. I know he got a goal and assist, didn't he? But I haven't actually watched the highlights of him. I'll do that afterwards. But let's look a little bit more into into the whole backroom staff situation. Chris Wheeler, the ever-reliable man, says the futures of Mitchell Van der Gaar, Steve McClaren and Benny McCarthy are unclear. I believe another reporter says, where is it? Rob Dawson comes out saying Benny McCarthy is set to leave Manchester United with the contracts due to expire at the end of the month. Benny McCarthy's gone. Well liked by players. I heard a rumour a while ago that he'd messed up a little bit. He's very well liked, and Ronaldo was very fond of him. But I heard a few rumours jumbling about that Benny McCarthy hadn't conducted himself in the most professional way. Do you believe Arteta is a better tactician than Ten Hag? No. No. I think they're similar. I think Arteta is too stubborn, and that can be said for Ten Hag. But I do think Arteta is a better man manager. He's a better all-round manager, but I think Erik ten Hag is close to Arteta as a tactician. That's just my opinion. Because I do think at that top level, it gets really, really close. You're either Pep and then everyone else. And like those top sort of tier, like an Erik ten Hag's, the Klopps, the I don't know, the Artetas, the Contes, the Ancelotti. It's not really, they're all very tactically sound. They're all very intelligent coaches. It's just the way how they see profiles, how do they enjoy setting up their teams, which systems they're going to do, what players have they got at their disposal, how they're working alongside different players. That's sort of the level which I think about. But shall we look at a bit more of the backroom staff situation? I mean, interesting report from Samuel Luckhurst. It is understood Manchester United wants a new coaching model akin to Manchester City, where Pep Guardiola is supported by an expansive backroom staff. I mean, supported is the right word. Erik ten Hag is being backed, ladies and gentlemen. Erik ten Hag is being backed, being brought in. Two coaches he's very familiar with. Rene Hake went to the FC Utrecht sort of youth setup. Or was it 20? It was one of the two. Let me check. FC 20 sort of youth coaching setup. That's how he was sort of brought up. So yeah, I think it's quite a he is being backed by people who he trusts. Now it's not who Erik ten Hag just wants. If Erik ten Hag wants them, you best believe Ineos have given a veto. They could say no to him. They could definitely say no, especially after they made mistakes in the past with letting Erik ten Hag choose who he wants. Think Anthony, think Malacia as well. It's like they're going to do their due diligence. And is there any other news about the coaching setup? Here we go. Laurie Whitwell. Erik ten Hag is close to agreeing his new contract as Manchester United manager, with the talks advancing to add Ruud van Nistelrooy and Rene Hake to his staff. Again, it seems Erik ten Hag's new deal comes along with backroom reinforcements in the form of Van Nistelrooy and Rene Hake. Chat, how do you feel about that? How do we feel about the coaching setup being revolutionised, being revitalised? How are we feeling? Jithian Joseph says Ten Hag doesn't want Onana. This was already reported by Sasha Tavileri, who is very good regarding Belgian players. He said it was an agency issue. You know what? I would expect like a Crafton to come out and say something. I'd expect another journalist as well. I don't love looking at other unless it's an Orney or a Fab or a Muppeteers or a Whitwell or the Athletic. I don't love looking at reports in isolation. I love a little bit of corroboration with it. It's sort of, until I hear corroboration, it also is an agency issue. But I don't know. Say Fab comes out or Ben Jacobs. I'm not going to believe it then. I'm sorry. Not going to believe it in its entirety at least. I'm checking to see, because I've heard there's some news might come out in a little bit. Sorry, chat. Ruud. Yes, Ruud van Nistelrooy, everybody. God, how many goals did that man score for Manchester United? How many goals did that man score? Imagine him under Garnacho. Who do you think is going to benefit the most from the new backroom coaching setup, everybody? Is it going to be Ten Hag? Or is one of the players going to receive a major boost? To me, I think looking at the players coming in, the managers coming in, I think the midfield is going to be so happy that they might actually be compact. There might be a compact nature at Manchester United now. They might actually not have goals leaking to it. Onana's going to be over the moon. Onana's not going to have a million shots against him every game. But yeah, let me know, chat. 2 likes away from 50 likes as well. If you don't mind, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. We're aiming for 5,000 subscribers in the month of July. I would love to hit that total. It would mean the world to me. Now, who's going to benefit the most under this new backroom staff? Who's going to benefit the most? And chat, to end the stream in 2 minutes, we are going to build the Manchester United side for next season based on the current reports. Do you think Arne Slot is going to be a problem, says Clayton? I think, you know what, I spoke to someone who is very familiar with him. He rates him. His name's Vitaly. Give him a follow on Twitter. He's really good. He thinks he's great. He thinks Liverpool can succeed under there. To me, it's the recruitment. I don't love the Liverpool squad at the moment. I think they should be cutting ties with with some players. But look, I think he'll be a success there, but I don't think he'll do what Klopp does. I think he won't even come close to winning a Premier League. I think he does 3 seasons, he wins a couple domestic trophies, then he's off. That's just my opinion. KD says Højlund. I see him succeeding on new backroom staff. But shall we build a new Manchester in the last 5 minutes of the stream? Don't go anywhere. I want everyone in the stream right now to contribute. I'm going to be putting a load of polls in the chat. Who do we want? Who do we want as our Manchester United side for next year? Let me just put. Actually, no. Can I put more than one poll in? I'm not too sure. You know what? No, we'll just do it by the chat for the moment. So I don't know if I can put more than one poll in. But chat, let me know. Is Onana a dead set being our new number 1 for next season? Maintaining that right. Is he, or do you want another goalkeeper? Do you get Alte Bayendir? Another shout. Did you see that goal we conceded? The funniest back pass of all time. It was hilarious. I've never seen such confused faces. It was against Portugal, wasn't it? Van der Gaart is looking to move it away though. Sasha always reports first regarding transfers of Belgian players. Ben Jacobs is horrible. I disagree. And it's in the bottom tier of transfers, but you rate him. I do rate him. He's an excellent journalist. I'm sorry. I really do rate him. So Onana as our goalkeeper. To me, what formation are we setting up with? Should we go with a 4-3-3? 4-2-3-1? A 5-back? A 3-back? Chat, let me know. Onana is good, what we need for Bergen. Yeah. But I really like Onana. I know you lot aren't that fond of him, but I love him. I love the man. W. White Zirkzee will be a United player before the end of next week. Watch this space. Just like Onana's goalkeeper. 4-2-3-1. Okay. We'll do a 4-2-3-1. I'll put out an opinion on my backline of what I think it's going to be. And then chat, tell me if you agree or disagree with me. I'm going to go with, assuming players are fully fit. Oh, you know what? Do I cause a bit of an uproar? No. Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire and Diogo Dalot. That's who I think is most likely to be our starting backline next season, because I'm becoming quite sort of fearful with the Jarrad Branthwaite situation. Guys who joined the stream, we're building our perfect Manchester United squad for next season based off realism and how likely players are going to be coming into the club. Do you think we're going to get in another centre-back? Kyle Duncan, that's horrible. I agree, but who else are we bringing in? If we're bringing in Matthijs de Ligt, I think Maguire starts over him. Do you disagree with me, chat? Do you disagree? I mean, WY, Dalot, Branthwaite, Lee Chat and Shaw. I mean, I get behind that. I just don't think Branthwaite's going to come. Chat, do you think Branthwaite's going to come to United? I mean, I'll change my answer. Oh, I've started off the Maguire chat again, haven't I? Chat, let me be. We can't talk about Harry Maguire for 10 minutes on every single stream. We can't do that. I'm sorry. We do it every single stream, and we can't do it. Do you think Branthwaite's going to come to United? You know what? I'll put that poll in the chat. I will put that poll in the chat. Let me do that. And if you say yes, I'll put him in my side. Will Jarrad Branthwaite come to Manchester United? Yes or no? Maguire is so dead. He's not. Ugh. Good God. There you go. Giving you a lot of poll in the chat. Amuse yourselves. I watch into every season and I can just say we haven't seen the real Onana yet. I agree with you, KD. Just glimpses of the reason Pep rates him. I believe we'll see what he really is next season. Golden Glove. When he's allowed to play with the ball, when he's allowed to play with the ball out from the back, when he's allowed to not face a million shots a game, Andre Onana is really quite a competent goalkeeper. This guy is clueless, lol, says Jabry. Chat, do you think I'm clueless? I think I can be at times, but at least I'm honest. I ain't just saying things to appease people. I'm here for a conversation. You lot are 50-50 with the poll right now. 50% yes, 50% no. In that case, I'm going to go with my gut and say Jarrad Branthwaite's not going to come to United. I mean, I'll give it another minute, but I'm pretty sure Oh, I mean, yes, 53%. If he does come, it would be Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Branthwaite, and Dallo. Or I'd go to a 5-back and I'd do Shaw, Branthwaite, Lisandro Martinez, Maguire, Dallo. That's like my options. That's my options. And you lot are saying yes, but I'm going to stick with the 4-2-3-1. And I'm going to go with Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Branthwaite, and Dallo as my back line. Are we happy with that, chat? Are we happy with that? Dean Boy says, Maguire will 100% be third choice. Centre back, if he stays, he doesn't suit Ten Hag's style of play of a high press. God, chat. Ruben Diaz plays as a centre back in a high press. So does bloody John Stones. They're not the fastest player in the world, are they? Carl Duncan, yes, it's a long saga. Clayton, do you think we're getting Rabiot? No, far too expensive. W. White will sign a centre-back anyway if it's not Branthwaite. Everyone knows Maguire is not good. He's injury-prone. We're moving on for having Maguire because it gets me in trouble in this chat. When it comes to... Okay, we'll go with Jarrad Branthwaite. Let's say we get Jarrad Branthwaite. Let's go Jarrad Branthwaite. As our two sort of number 6 and number 8, I'm going to go with... Ugarte, Kobe Mainu as my double pivot. That's what I'm going to go with. That's what I'm going to go with, chat. And then for my sort of 4-2-3-1, I'm going to go with Rashford, Bruno. Oh, who do I pick at right wing? Who do you pick at right wing, chat? Oh, I'll let you decide the right winger. I'll let you decide the right winger. I'll let you lot decide the right winger. Because I think this is going to be quite a fun little thing. Who should be Manchester United's right winger next season? We'll go, you know what, we'll put in Ahmad. We'll put in Garnacho. I'm going to humour the fools of you in the chat, and I'm going to put Anthony. Anyone else? I mean, I'll put in Sancho because why not? Actually, no, I can only put... I'll put in Nico Williams because we spoke about him yesterday. Go crazy with that, chat. Go crazy. Ahmad or Sancho. Garnacho for now. Ahmad right, Garnacho left. Wow. You lot would go with Garnacho on the left over Rashford. Chat. What? Surely not. Sure, guys, there's 78 of you in the chat right now. I really appreciate all your support. Please, please, please leave a like if you haven't already. Can we try and hit 60 likes for the first ever time on stream? And please get involved in the poll down below and leave a comment if you're enjoying so far and hit that subscribe button as well. I was seeing a lot of Garnacho on the right. Jesus Christ, chat. Shaw competing with new young left back? No, Shaw should compete with Jarrad Branthwaite and Lisandro Martinez for left back. And then bring Javier Mas through next season. Or a little bit this season as well. Leaving the Sky stream, a real clueless. Well, that's your opinion, mate. That's your opinion, innit? That's your opinion. Carl Duncan, Rashford based on form, should be on bench. He can't start on merit. Yeah, that's fair. Garnacho's winning the stream, winning the poll, sorry, quite substantially. Christ alive. Why is it so crazy? Garnacho has earned the left wing spot, lol. Because Garnacho's best performances last season came on the right. So if I was start a right winger, I think I would go with Alejandro Garnacho over Amad Diallo or even Anthony, because I think it calms him down. The right wing, he's less rash. He's less sort of... doesn't rush everything. I think he'll be a better long-term player on the left, but he's the best player right now on the right. And I think it disciplines him. I think it teaches him a lot as well. So that's sort of what I'd go with. I think for now, I'd start with Garnacho on the right and have him be backup for Rashford. But if Garnacho comes along leaps and bounds next season, like I hope he will, then look, I'd be quite happy to have Garnacho as a left winger. I mean, do poll for left wing with Rashford and Garnacho? Sure. I mean, I really hope not. Left winger, Rashford, Garnacho. Not Garnacho. Look at me doing this, guys. Imagine me, the person who couldn't get his mic to work on the very first few streams, managing to get this done. Look how good I am. Garnacho in the FA Cup was the best version of him I've ever seen. Yes and no. He was relentless. This is the best version of him I've ever seen. Surgeon rarely loses a fight, so it's likely we'll get Todibo. Will Jarrad then become a second choice for Lisandro Martinez? Again, play a 5-back. I would love a backline of Branthwaite, Lisandro Martinez and Todibo. I'd love that. We'll start one of them at left back, but I don't think that will make everyone very happy. Rashford is getting sold soon. It's been indicated to me that he's not going to go. But see, also, Rashford's winning the vote. Ha. Ha, chat. Ha. I'm kidding. You lot laugh at me about Maguire. I can laugh at you lot about Rashford. But let me know, guys, if you're in the chat right now, please leave an opinion on the poll. There's 67 of you, 71 of you, sorry. And so far, we only have, 8 votes? Get involved. Get involved if you want to decide who is the starting left winger for Manchester United next season. And at striker, I think we could I won't do a poll for it, but I'll say it. Rasmus Højlund or Joshua Zirkzee. To end the stream, I think we get Zirkzee. But who are we getting up front, chat? Joshua Zirkzee or Rasmus Højlund? Who do you start? Say we have both. Who do you start? Garnacho has earned the left wing spot. He's earned the right wing spot, WY. I think I'll disagree with you. He's earned the start. He's not earned that left wing spot yet. He needs to be a bit more disciplined, a bit more controlled, and a better finisher, and I'll put him there. He's also a really good cross on the ball off his right foot, and he can hit the ball on his left. Like, it's obvious he's been working on it. Like, cutting inside and whipping it, yeah, it works. He really is quite competent there. But let's see. Rasmus Højlund or Joshua Zirkzee? Let me know, chat. Who do you have up front? Our final point before we end the stream. If you've enjoyed, guys, please leave a like on the video. We're aiming for 60 likes today. And hit that subscribe button. We're aiming for 5,000 likes by the end of July. As always, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Alex Talksall. And as always, give us some follow on mufcMPB to never miss a piece of Manchester United news. Let's see what the final opinion is on the left wing situation. It's Marcus Rashford starting on the left. That is the conclusion to that. And up front, we're seeing start Højlund and integrate Zirkzee into the lineup. Clayton, Højlund starts, but Rashford can also play number 9. Kyle Duncan, Zirkzee complements that other forwards better, but Rasmus off the bench would be unreal. WY, wonderful. By the looks of it, Højlund starting. That seems to be the end game for it. So our final team on the MPB morning show is Onana, Shaw, Branthwaite, Lisandro Martinez, Dalot. We then have Ugarte, Menu, Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho, and Rasmus Højlund up top, with a coaching staff of Erik ten Hag, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and René Hake. And of course, my name is Alex, at Alex Talksall. Thank you for joining me. I'm here every day at 11 a.m. I'll see you guys tomorrow. What a bloody stream.